Hi everyone, welcome to the Tesla Economist. Please hit the thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe.
When you actually think about it for a while, Tesla have very few products. For example, BMW alone must offer about 50 different variations of models when you factor in the coupes, station wagons, sedans, convertibles of all the various sizes. And then when you break it down even further into trims, you're into the hundreds. Tesla currently offer four varieties of vehicle. They offer two types of solar and a Powerwall and the energy storage. And they're growing the insurance business. And sure, you could include superchargers as a product too. But for a near $1 trillion company, that's very few products. And in the pipeline, we have a Cybertruck, Roadster, Semi, and compact car. And the HVAC system coming eventually too. I believe there have also been suggestions of a delivery van as well. And investors haven't really taken into consideration that it's possible, maybe one day, Tesla might think of some more products to offer. Everyone is basing the value of this company off these few products. But wouldn't it be possible that over the next 5 or even 10 years, that Tesla might come up with more products for their customers? Let's take a look at some other products that would fit Tesla's brand offering and maybe even speculate as to how valuable they might be. Rather than just think of random ideas, let's view Tesla's mission statement. Tesla's mission is to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy. Energy is responsible for around 3/4 of greenhouse emissions, so you can see why it's so important. 12% of energy emissions come from road transport. Obviously, Tesla is identifying this currently. With 60% of emissions coming from cars, Tesla are already doing what they can. They're already trying to make as many cars as quickly as possible. But the real breakthrough will be when robotaxis come out. It would mean that Tesla don't need to make as many cars, as a robotaxi can serve many more travelers than one car can owned by an individual. Using robotaxis will make sense for a lot of people rather than owning your own car. And they're nice cars with a big screen in them where you can watch Netflix during the ride. Heavy-duty trucks account for about 25% of emissions. Tesla are addressing this with their semi-truck, and it will be a great success. But will require a lot of batteries, so there's a lot of opportunity cost in every semi-truck they sell. Another reason why right now this company just has to do everything they can to ramp up the battery production. Light trucks are responsible for about 12% of emissions. I think this is a market that Tesla will likely capture. Rivian have announced they'll make an electric delivery van for Amazon. Tesla could make a really cool van. It will have autonomy too. It would require a person still in the van to deliver packages though, but maybe the van will be set up in a way that the delivery person can organise their packages whilst it's in transit, as they don't have to drive. Or an electrician could be in the back of the van sorting out wires while the car drives. When you don't have a driver in front, it allows for much more creativity and can be designed around function and utility rather than driving. And perhaps this is why we haven't seen a van yet, as Tesla are waiting until they hit level 5 autonomy first. Elon said he wouldn't make a motorcycle, I think because they're too dangerous, and he's probably right. I mean, could you imagine how insanely quick a Tesla electric motorbike would be? I think you'd have to be pretty strong just to hold on during the acceleration. But motorcycles only account for about 1% of all transport emissions anyway, so they're much bigger fish to fry. Besides, Tesla are going to offer an ATV anyway, which is actually a product I should have included in their pipeline, although it's more like a Cybertruck accessory. Designing and creating an electric plane is going to be an enormous project, and as aviation is only responsible for 2% of emissions, I can't see this being the biggest priority. In addition to that, battery technology just isn't there yet. It is something that Elon has hinted at though. If I recall correctly, I think Tesla may even have a prototype of an electric plane. I think it's a good chance of Tesla coming up with a plane eventually, but I wouldn't have thought until later sometime in the second half of the decade. Heating and cooling are responsible for about half the energy consumed in a home. When you factor that in, it makes perfect sense for Tesla to make their own HVAC system. Tesla are very busy creating energy and storing it, but wouldn't it make sense to also reduce energy consumption too? That would have the same inevitable outcome, a faster route to transition to sustainable energy. It's also going to further reduce consumers' living expenses. On top of that, around another 15% of energy consumption is water heating, which can also be heated using a heat pump. Washer and dryers are also another 13%, and the majority of that is heating as well, which could also be used with a heat pump again. Lighting is the other major one, but if you're using LED lights these days, it's actually a lot more minimal. So let's count back here. We have about 80% of energy usage in a home to do with heating the house or water. Right now, Tesla are in the R&D stages of creating the best heat pump they can. This is the equivalent of their battery technology in the appliance world. They'll have the most efficient heat pump too, of course. And then said heat pump can be used in all these appliances. So given that, I see there's a possible chance Tesla will offer a heat pump, but quite possibly a water heat pump too, and maybe even a washer and dryer. I can't imagine a washer and dryer being particularly difficult to design or manufacture. And of course, Tesla will sell these directly from their website or maybe in showrooms. In other words, no one else can sell them and take a cut. Tesla keeps every cent. And everyone will want one because they actually save you money. Imagine if all the appliances, they save you $100 a month on power. In addition to that, as you consume less power, you wouldn't need to spend so much on your solar roof either. The running costs of using Tesla products are so low that even if the competition gave their products away, it would still be cheaper to use Teslas. How could anyone compete? Of course, Tesla will offer financing and all these too. Refrigerators aren't a major cost of energy, but who knows, Tesla might go there as well. But I'd say it'd be best to stick with heat pump related products. They have plenty of other fish to fry. But we don't have to stop at the home, of course. I'm sure Tesla will offer various sizes of heat pumps, particularly for commercial industrial purposes. Of course, offices, shops, and factories require HVAC too. The industry is enormous. So if Tesla create heat pumps that cost so much less to run than existing HVAC, then why wouldn't everyone only buy Tesla heat pumps? HVAC is currently a $240 billion global industry and expected to hit $350 billion by 2030. So if Tesla have the better heat pump, then could this be another disrupted industry taken over by technology and they get a lion's share of the market again? Probably. Think about the convenience of when your Tesla is driving you home from work, then your Tesla car tells your Tesla heat pump you're 10 minutes from home, and to start heating the house already, you arrive at home in a nice warm house. The heat pump will be big. Shipping is currently responsible for about 3% of global CO2 emissions, but with other forms of transport reducing their emissions, this proportion is estimated to rise. Manufacturing a ship is no easy feat. I would have thought that perhaps this might take too much time that could be spent elsewhere. Of course, they could make a seriously cool ship, but they likely have other priorities first. In addition to that, can you just imagine how many batteries would be required to power a ship? I actually can't, but I'm guessing it's a lot. Tesla are nowhere near creating enough batteries for ships yet. Although a Chinese company just created an electric cruise ship with a whopping 7.5 megawatt battery pack. Tesla's biggest mission right now is battery ramping, and will be for some time. They have so many batteries to make, and every single one gets sold. They have to decide on where best to allocate each battery for the mission. Then, if they actually can supply enough batteries, they need to decide on what products they want to create for said batteries. A ship just might require too much sacrifice. I know it's not in Tesla's nature, but if I was them, might possibly look at a joint venture with an existing shipping manufacturer. Shipping is highly competitive. It's about having boats that are the most efficient in reducing the fuel cost. If new ships are that much more efficient, the old ships become obsolete, as they can't compete. If Tesla is able to achieve the cheapest method of shipping, then it will dominate. In addition to how efficient the batteries are, they could also use solar to charge the batteries. However, with shipping, the containers are placed on top of the ship. So where would you put the solar panels? Well, perhaps some large retractable panels could be used. If the weather gets too rough or the ship is coming to port, they simply retract. That's just one quick idea off the top of my head. I imagine a team of Tesla engineers could come up with something too. Who knows, maybe even we'll see some sales too. Tesla may also make boats for consumers as well. An electric boat seems like a great idea. Boats cost a fortune to fuel, and they're in the sun so much they can take advantage of solar as well. I mean, can you imagine getting to view inside the Tesla R&D department? What crazy vehicles and products you might find there. I think Elon said he created an amphibious vehicle that can drive on the road and actually becomes a submarine. Yes, just like James Bond in The Spy Who Loved Me. Incidentally, Elon actually owns the very Lotus Esprit from that movie. Anyway, over this decade, I think we will likely see some really cool products from this company. Thanks for listening. Please hit the thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe.